Good morning, children. Hope all are doing good. And last session, I have completed about classification of tissues in plants. In that, I discussed with you about simple tissues like parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, all. So, and also I said about the complex tissues such as xylem, phloem also. So, we'll enter into the complex tissue today's session. And complex tissue are made of more than one type of cells that work together as a unit. Complex tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma cells. And however, collenchymatous cells are not present in such tissues. Common examples are xylem and phloem. Okay, children. So, complex tissue consists of parenchyma, sclerenchyma. These parenchyma and sclerenchyma are a type of simple tissues. So, these simple tissues are present in the complex tissue as a part of it. Okay. So, but the collenchymatous cells are not present in such tissues. Common example for complex tissues are xylem and phloem. Okay, children. Let's see about xylem. Xylem is a conducting tissue which conduct water, minerals, nutrients upward from root to leaves, and xylem gives a mechanical support to the plant body. So, what is xylem? And mention its function. Xylem is a complex tissue and its function is conducting water, minerals, nutrients upwards from root to leaves, and also it give mechanical support to the plant body. And what are the cells the xylem is made up of is another question. Xylem is composed of commonly four different types of cells, that is xylem tracheids, xylem fibers, xylem vessels, and xylem parenchyma. And xylem, so let's see about xylem tracheids. So these are elongated or tube-like dead cell with hard, thick, and lignified walls. Usually, we have seen about this lignified walls in collenchyma and sclerenchyma also. This lignified wall means the walls or the cell walls are thickened with a substance called lignin. That is called what? Lignified cell wall. And usually the tracheids are long and elongated, dead cells long, elongated, and dead cell. For that you refer the diagram, children, for tracheid, xylem tracheids. Please refer the diagram. In this parenchyma, annula, spiral, parenchyma, it is not, tracheids is not given here in the picture. And let's see here. Phloem, parenchyma, here also it's not given. Okay, anyhow, tracheids are dead cells. Tracheids are dead cells and elongated cells, and it is its cell wall is thickened with a substance called lignin. That's what it is called, what? Lignified walls. Their ends are tapering. That means both the ends of the tracheids are pointed. That's what it is called, what? Tapering or blunt. Sometimes it won't be tapering, it will be a blunt or sessile like and devoid of protoplast. See children, already I said if the cell don't have protoplast in it, then the cell is said to be what? Dead cell. So if the cell has a protoplasm inside the cell membrane, the cell considered as what? Living cell. Since the tracheids don't have any protoplasm in it, then it is said to be what? Yes, right. It is a dead cells. They have a large lumen without any content. Lumen means what? Empty cavity, like a tube. When we see inside any of the tube, we will find some empty cavities inside the tube, isn't it, children? Same way in tracheids, it doesn't have, it have a cavity inside of it, but there is no content is seen inside the cavity. and they have large lumen without any content. Their function is conduction of water and providing mechanical support to the plants. Okay, so what is the function of tracheids? Yes, xylem in common xylem involved in conduction of water. So, okay, right. So, in that xylem consists of tracheids. The tracheids is a tube-like structure, and its ends are tapering or blunt or sessile-like. Inside the tracheids there is a cavity, and the cavity does not possess any content in it, and its function is conduction of water and provide mechanical support to the plants. That's all about tracheids. So, tracheids are dead cells. Yes, dead cells, since it's it lack protoplasm, and its cell wall is lignified and long, elongated, tapering at both ends, or blunt or sessile like, and it can have a lumen inside the tracheids but does not possess any content inside it. It is involved in the conduction of water and provide mechanical support or the functions of water tracheids. The next one, xylem fibers. These cells are elongated, lignified and pointed at both the ends. Okay, so these cells are elongated, lignified and pointed at both the ends. Xylem fibers provide mechanical support to the plant. Xylem fibers provide mechanical support to the plant. What is the function of the xylem fibers? Mechanical support. It is understood it does not involve in conduction of water. So it is also elongated, lignified, pointed at both ends. Its function provide mechanical support. And next is xylem vessel. These are long a cylindrical tube like structure with lignified walls and wide central lumen. So it also have a lumen. This also made up of lignified walls. Cells are thickened, cell walls thickened with lignin, and tube like. Then inside, like tracheids, it also have a lumen, broader or wider lumen inside the tube, and these are dead cells. These are also dead cells. Okay, actually in xylem only xylem parenchyma is the living cells. Other three, xylem vessels, tracheids, fibers, all three are dead cells. Okay, and they are arranged in longitudinal series. That means what? It arranged one above the other as a longitudinal series. The cells series in which the partitioned walls are perforated, and so the entire structure looks like a water pipe. So since it is placed one above the other, and it's look like a pipeline system. It look like a pipeline system. Already the vessels or tube like structure with a wider lumen inside it, and since it looks like a tube and arranged one above other, the overall structure looks like a pipeline system. And perforated, what is mean by perforated? There is a holes on the walls. Okay, there is a holes on the walls, that is called perforated, and so the entire structure looks like a water pipe. Their main function is to transport of water and also provide mechanical support. Okay, so please see children, in xylem, both xylem xylem vessels and tracheids involved in the conduction of water and provide mechanical strength. Xylem fiber, it will provide only mechanical strength to the plant. Next is, let's see about xylem parenchyma. These are living and thin walled cells. The main function of the xylem parenchyma is to store starch and fatty substance. Okay children, so the only living cells of the xylem is what? Xylem parenchyma. And its function is what? Usually where the main function of parenchyma in wherever it will be present. If it is present in the leaves or it is present in the root, wherever it is. So main function, store the food material. Same way in xylem also, xylem parenchyma is present. This xylem parenchyma provide storage of food material, provided for storage of food material. That's all about xylem children. See, as I said, xylem is a complex tissue, and it is involved in conduction of water and provide mechanical strength. Already we have discussed, and it is made up of 4 different types of cells: xylem, parenchyma, xylem vessels, xylem tracheids and xylem parenchyma. Among these 4, the xylem vessels, fibers, tracheids all are dead cells. Only xylem parenchyma is a living cell. So what is mean by dead cell? The cells, children, inside the cell membrane, see in plant cell, outside the plant cell as a cell wall as a external structure, external covering, and inside the cell wall, cell membrane or plasma membrane is present. Inside the plasma membrane or cell membrane, the protoplast is present, a substance, a jelly like substance called a protoplast is present. This protoplast is differentiated into cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay, so the cell which have protoplasm in it is considered as what? Living cell. If the cell does not possess protoplast in it, then the cell is said to be what? A dead cell. Okay, so in that way, all these 3, xylem, vessel, trachea and fiber, since it lack a protoplast, it is called a dead cell. The parenchyma alone called what? Living cell. Okay, right. So then coming for common function, see in that the xylem vessels and tracheids, they are tube like, they are arranged one above the other in longitudinal way, looking like a pipe system, and both are involved in conduction of water and provide mechanical strength to the plant. Okay, right. And next one is xylem fibers. Next one is what? Xylem fibers. What is mean by xylem fibers? See, xylem fibers, which is also long pointed structure, both ends are pointed, and it provide only mechanical support, does not involve in the conduction of water. And xylem parenchyma, it is a living and thin walled cells, a main function storage of food material. That's all about xylem, children. Then we will enter into the phloem. Okay, hope you are thorough with the xylem. Okay, right. Next we are entering into the phloem. Before entering into the phloem, you can refer the diagram. You see, children, phloem consists of what? A sieve plate, sieve elements, and phloem parenchyma cells, companion cells. Here also phloem fiber is there, it is not mentioned here. Okay, children. So like that, phloem also made up of how many types of cells? 4 types of cells. Okay, phloem. Phloem is a complex tissue, consists of following elements. As I said, it is also made up of 4 different types of cells. One is sieve elements, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. These are the 4 different types of cells seen in the phloem. Okay, so sieve elements, the conducting elements of phloem are collectively called as what? Sieve elements. Conducting. So you know very well the function of phloem is what? Conduction of food material from the region of production to the region of requirement. Okay, so this conduction is taken place by the sieve elements. So that is the conducting element of the phloem are collectively called what? Sieve elements. Like tracheids vessels, sieve elements are elongated tube-like slender cells placed end to end, throughout the length it will be present. The transfer wall at the ends are perforated and are known as sieve plate. See, children, in each sieve tube there will be a two ends. So both the ends are have a very minute pores like our sieves we are using for our daily purpose in cooking, right? So like a sieve, the end of the tubes possess a sieves in it. That's what the tube is called what? Sieve tubes. Through this, since the sieve tubes placed one above the other, the water from the one tube is the food material from one tube is passed to the other tube, you know, children. That's what the end of the tubes are perforated like a sieve. That's what it is called as what? Sieve tube. And the transfer wall at the ends are perforated and are known as what? Sieve plate. The main function of sieve tube is translocation of food from leaves to the storage organs of the plant. Okay, so that's what I said. What is the main function of sieve tube? Translocate the food from the leaves to the storage organs of the plants. Next, companion cell. These are elongated cells attached to the lateral wall of the sieve tube. Okay, so at the side of the sieve tubes, these companion cells are attached. The companion cells may be equal in length of the accompanying sieve tube element, or the mother cell may be divided transversely, forming a series of companion cells. Okay, so about the size of the companion cell, already I said the companion cell is associated on the lateral side of the sieve tube. Okay, so the length of the companion cell may be equal to the accompanying sieve tube, or sometimes the mother companion cells are divided into many other companion cells, series of companion cells. That's all about companion cells. Next, phloem parenchyma. The phloem parenchyma are living cell which have protoplasm and nucleus. Their function also store the food material only. Okay, next one, phloem fibers. Phloem fibers, sclerenchymatous cells. Okay, phloem fibers is a sclerenchymatous cells associated with primary and secondary phloem, are commonly called phloem fibers. What is the structure? Elongated, lignified. What is the function? Provide mechanical strength to the plant body. That's all about what phloem. Okay, so phloem, which is made up of 4 types of cells. What are the 4 types of cells seen in the phloem? Or sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. These are the 4 cells. Okay, so the 4 cells, among the 4 cells, the sieve tube only translocate the food material from the area of production to the where the regions required, and also storage region of the plant body. And the sieve tube are elongated in structure. It is end to end in nature. Both the end perforated with a minute pores, look like a sieve. That's what it is called, a sieve plate, and the elements is called a sieve elements. Okay, its main function, provide mechanical support and to the conduction of food material. Okay, next, companion cell. The companion cell is present on the lateral side of the sieve tubes and accompanying the sieve elements. So its length will be equal to the length of accompanying sieve tube, or sometimes the mother cells are divided into series of many companion cells. Okay, next one is phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma also living cells. It store the food material. That's all. Phloem fibers, it is a sclerenchymatous cells. It's associated with the primary and secondary phloem, called phloem fibers. These are elongated, lignified, provide mechanical support to the plant body. That's all. Okay, so children, let's see about the difference between xylem and phloem. Okay, it's a 4-mark question for you. Xylem, it conducts water and minerals. Phloem, it conducts organic solute or food material, that we know very well. Next one is xylem conduction is mostly unidirectional, that is from roots to apical parts of the plant. It is very, very important things, children. Always xylem which conduct the water in unidirection, that is upward movement from the root to the apex, that is aerial parts of the plant. Okay, it will not go in any other direction, only upward movement from root to aerial parts of the plant. So it is unidirectional in nature. Example, roots to the apical parts of the plant. Okay, and but phloem, leaves prepare the food material, that we know very well, isn't it? The food prepared by the roots can be carried to the top of the plant, or down bottom of the plant to the roots of the plant, or side branches of the plant. So it move in all the directions. So it is understood it move both in upward movement and downward movement. So it is bidirectional in nature. So conduction may be bidirectional from leaves to storage organs. Storage organ might be maximum root, and growing parts of the growing parts, that is to the tip of the root and stem, or from storage organ to growing parts, or storage organ to growing parts. So whatever in both the direction the foods are moved by the phloem. So phloem shows a bidirectional movement. Then conducting elements, conducting channels or tracheids and vessels. So in xylem, vessels and xylem vessel, xylem tracheids only conduct the water. Here the sieve tube conduct the food material. Component of xylem include tracheids, vessel, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber. Components are sieve elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. That's it. Next one, see here children, difference between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Already I said what is meristematic tissue, what is permanent tissue, right? In meristematic tissue, cytoplasm is dense and vacuoles are nearly absent, or if present it is very tiny. Then permanent tissue, usually large central vacuole is present in the living permanent tissue. Okay, here vacuoles are nearly absent. Here vacuoles or what? It's a central large vacuoles is present in living permanent cells. Intercellular spaces absent, intercellular spaces present. So in meristematic cells there is no intercellular spaces, cells are closely packed. In permanent tissues the cells are loosely packed, in between the cells there is a space called intercellular space. Component cells are small, spherical or polygonal and undifferentiated. Here component cells are large, differentiated with different shape. Then cell wall is thin and elastic. Here cell wall is thick. Nucleus is large and prominent. Here nucleus is less and conspicuous. Cells grow and divide regularly. Here meristematic cells are grow and divide regularly, but in permanent tissue cells do not normally divide. Provides mechanical support and elasticity to the plant body. Here provides mechanical support alone. So these are the differentiation between meristematic and permanent tissue. Okay children, today I discussed with you about complex tissues such as xylem, phloem, and the differentiation between xylem and phloem, and differentiation between meristematic and permanent tissue. All I have discussed. Here I am going to give only two questions. Differentiate between the xylem and vessels, differentiate between meristematic and permanent tissue. These two differentiation are the homework for you. Only very few, one or two. Shanmuga Raja sending the homework regularly, but others are irregular in homework. Srinidhi is doing and Kavya also doing, but others they are not at all doing your homework. Children, please do your homework, complete it and send it soon. Okay, thank you, bye, take care.